Wrestling is well known for extracting various emotions from the fanbase. From anger and fulfillment to sadness and happiness, wrestling fans are notoriously some of the most passionate and invested fans in the world. Interestingly, these emotions aren't just present in the fans, as the wrestlers themselves are prone to getting emotional during specific moments of their careers. Whether it be a wrestler reaching the top of the WWE and winning the world title for the first time, or real-life circumstances impacting a wrestler's presentation on television, there have been some incredibly emotional moments throughout WWE history. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 WWE moments that made wrestlers legitimately cry. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Short. Number 10. Kurt Angle reaches the top of WWE No Mercy 2000. Kurt Angle had one of the most successful and entertaining rookie years in WWE history back in 2000. This rookie year was highlighted by Angle defeating The Rock at the No Mercy pay-per-view to win his first ever WWE title. Angle's gimmick at the time was that he was often overcome with emotion after securing wins. This was borderline comedic, as he would often burst into tears after defeating lower card guys. However, when Angle pinned The Rock's shoulders to the mat for the 1-2-3, Angle's emotions were actually genuine. He was literally weeping on the stage as he looked at his newly won WWE title with immense pride. Number 9. Drew McIntyre wins the Royal Rumble 2020. The 2020 Men's Royal Rumble received widespread praise. The match was paced extremely well and featured several memorable moments, such as Edge returning after 9 years and Brock Lesnar being presented as an unstoppable force. The match was eventually won by Drew McIntyre, which was 100% the correct call, as they needed to make new stars, and McIntyre vs Lesnar was a fantastic option for the WrestleMania 36 main event. Once McIntyre had won the match, the emotion of the moment caught up to him, as McIntyre began to cry in the middle of the ring. This wasn't just McIntyre being overwhelmed with the Rumble win, this was a culmination of decades of hard work and resilience, and now McIntyre's WWE career had come full circle. McIntyre would reflect on his emotional response to winning the Rumble during an appearance on The Bump, and this is what the multi-time WWE champion had to say. "I could see the people on the floor telling me to go into the corner with the cameraman, and I was like, I can't. I was like, leave me alone, I'm just having a moment here. That moment when I collapsed in the ring, that was the moment when everything went rushing through me. The journey, the ups and downs, the sacrifices. I got emotional. People gave me crap for crying. I'm not crying, I got tears in my eyes. I get emotional. You know, I'm human. It all just hit me at that moment." Number 8. Roman Reigns loses his first world title, Survivor Series 2015. Survivor Series in 2015 was supposed to be Roman Reigns' night. Reigns had just won the vacant WWE World title, and he had finally reached the top of the WWE ladder. However, Reigns' reign would be short-lived, as Sheamus would cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, giving Reigns one of the shortest first-time reigns in company history. Reigns looked absolutely devastated that his inaugural reign had just ended in this manner, as he bawled his eyes out in the ring. The images and videos of Reigns in this vulnerable state quickly went viral, and while some fans decided to mock Reigns for this emotional response, there was still a strong portion of fans who acknowledged how much of a whirlwind winning the WWE World title and losing it in seconds must have been. Number 7. Ronda Rousey breaks down Survivor Series 2018. Up until Survivor Series in 2018, Ronda Rousey was cemented as one of the top female babyfaces in the company. However, during a match with Charlotte Flair, the crowd decided to turn on her with immediate effect. The crowd wanted no part of Rousey, as she was heckled throughout the match, and the supposed heel Flair was heavily cheered even when destroying Rousey with a kendo stick. After the match was over and Rousey was on her way to the back, she started to cry as the crowd turning on her was too much to take. According to Flair, Rousey was also crying backstage, so this was a completely legitimate response, as she obviously didn't expect the crowd to turn on her in the manner they did. Number 6. Bayley wins the NXT title, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn in 2015 featured arguably the greatest women's match in NXT history, as Bayley defeated Sasha Banks to become NXT Women's Champion. The match was a masterclass of emotion and storytelling, and when Bayley got the win, there wasn't a dry eye in the arena. Seeing Bayley break down after holding up the gold was a standout moment that's very hard to forget. Bayley had worked her way up to the top of the NXT Women's Division, and this was her moment in the spotlight. She deserved it, and the shot of Bayley in tears holding the title above her head is no doubt going to be played in highlight reels for many years to come. Number 5. Ric Flair loses his retirement match, WrestleMania 24. WrestleMania 24 was a historic night, as a legendary Ric Flair had his final ever WWE match. Flair was defeated by Shawn Michaels, and towards the end of the match, he was getting increasingly upset with the knowledge that this was his final time wrestling in WWE. When Flair eventually lost, the reality set in for him, and this is when he let out all his emotion. It was a touching moment to witness, and it was hard to watch without shedding a tear or two. Some fans will state that this emotional moment doesn't hold up, mainly due to Flair subsequently wrestling in TNA. However, this remained as Flair's final ever WWE matchup, so in terms of WWE continuity, the moment still stands the test of time. Number 4. Becky Lynch announces her pregnancy, Raw 2020. On the Raw after Money in the Bank in 2020, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch invited Money in the Bank winner Asuka to the ring. This is when Lynch announced that Asuka hadn't won a contract to face the Women's Champion, she had in fact become the new Raw Women's Champion. Lynch would announce her pregnancy to the entire world on Raw, and it was a beautiful moment that made Lynch cry. It was an incredible segment that could have only been improved if a live audience was there, but the segment unfortunately took place in the bizarre COVID-19 era, so the segment took place in the WWE PC. Nevertheless, the segment is very emotional. Number 3. The Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech, Hall of Fame 2022. The Undertaker finally took his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame in 2022. This was the most anticipated Hall of Fame speech ever, and the dead man delivered a completely out of character speech that was touching, humorous, and insightful. At the start of the dead man's speech, the crowd gave the WWE legend a standing ovation that went on and on. This was enough to make The Undertaker break down. Taker looked noticeably moved by the positive reaction, and at several points during his first few minutes of his speech, he had to wipe the tears away from his eyes. This is the reaction that the dead man deserved, as thousands of fans in attendance wanted to show the iconic wrestler just how much he meant to them. Number 2. Triple H, WWE 24. WWE had huge plans for Finn Balor in the summer of 2016. Balor had just become the inaugural Universal Champion at SummerSlam, and he was going to be presented as a top babyface on Raw. Unfortunately, Balor suffered a labrum tear in his match with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, and this forced Balor to immediately surrender the title. This put WWE's plans into complete disarray, and one man who was absolutely devastated that Balor had to surrender his title was Triple H. Triple H was always a huge fan of Balor, and the game was influential in him becoming the inaugural Universal Champion. On a special edition of WWE 24 on the network, the WWE cameras showed Triple H's reaction to Balor surrendering the title, and it's truly heartbreaking to watch. Triple H looked crushed, and it was clear from watching the footage that this was one of the most upsetting WWE moments that the game had ever witnessed. And number 1, The Shield Raw 2018. The October 22nd, 2018 edition of Raw featured one of the most emotional moments in Raw history, as Roman Reigns was forced to surrender his Universal title after revealing that his leukemia had returned after 11 years. Wrestling fans across the world were utterly devastated, and Reigns' emotions was enough to make thousands of wrestling fans cry. The most upsetting moment of Reigns' announcement came when the Shield surfaced on the stage to embrace Reigns. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were there to support him, and Rollins was in bits as he couldn't keep it together, and as for Ambrose, he looked completely stunned and in total disbelief from what Reigns had just revealed. But there you have it folks, 10 moments that made WWE wrestlers legitimately cry. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.